Spawn. The movie opens up with the epic voice of Nicol Williamson.
The battle between heaven and hell has waged eternal. Their armies fueled by souls harvested on earth.
Just a little exposition to get the audience up to speed.
All the Dark Lord needs now is a great soldier. Someone who can lead his hordes to the gates of heaven and burn them down.
Over at the military air base in Hong Kong, all seems quiet until this happens. Then, the masked assassin blows up a fucking plane. This is where we meet our main character, Al Simmons, played by Jai White. After the chaos, we get more exposition by the iconic Nicol Williamson.
Men are the ones who create evil on earth. It is the choices they make that enslave their souls to hell.
Then, cue the super edgy Duke Nukem-esque intro. After the seizure-inducing opening credits, the movie actually finally starts, where we are now somewhere in the USA at the A6 headquarters, where we see the evil Jason Wynn, played by the iconic Martin Sheen.
I'm making you a guarantee. All you have to do is keep certain agencies off my back.
He's just kicking back and watching the horrific actions that were committed by his hired gun being blasted all over the news.
Vicious rocket attack at an airport in Hong Kong. There has been an outpouring of anti-US sentiment sweeping across the globe.
In the shadows, we see an anonymous person, and it seems that they're making some sort of deal that heavily involves their favorite assassin.
We need you to help recruit a very special soldier for us. Your all-time favorite killer, Al Simmons.
Apparently, the weird little short shadow guy wants to recruit the killing machine Al Simmons for his demonic army. So let me help fill you in here. Al Simmons is a US Marine and now an elite mercenary. So when he blew up that plane last night, he thought he was doing some good for the country, taking out the bad guy and all, but didn't realize that innocent people were also caught in the blast of his little fireworks show.
What a friggin' mess. We were supposed to be taking out the bad guys, not innocent bystanders. Another Jason Wynn special.
So now he is pissed the fuck off, rightfully so, and goes to tell old Jason Wynn that he doesn't want any part in this shit anymore and wants out.
You will follow orders and do your job. Got a problem with that soldier?
Yes, I do, sir. And I want out.
This is where we meet the character Priest, played by Melinda Clarke. It was a character that was introduced in the comics shortly before, basically made for this movie.
We have the only vaccine.
Was there ever any doubt?
Never.
She's essentially this movie's answer to the Chapel character from the comic book. Jason's right hand, if you will, basically gaslights the fuck out of Al and tells him that he can be out, but he has to complete one more mission for his evil ass.
I'll arrange for your transfer right after we run this last operation.
Over at the chemical plant, we see Al doing his Metal Gear Solid thing. And this is the point where Al realizes that the whole thing was a fucking setup.
What the hell is going on here? When?
Priorities have changed, Al.
There's a town less than a mile away from here. If you release the virus, they'll all die.
Then, to seal the deal, they burn old Al to a fucking crisp.
See you in hell, Al.
Al is then sucked down into the lake of fire, and he wakes up atop of a roof in the middle of a storm, and doesn't know how the fuck he got there.
Look who was left in the oven too long.
Al climbs down into the rat-infested alley, when he gets a glimpse of his new crispy look.
Hey, mister, you don't look so good.
This is where we meet two more characters. Zach, played by the one and only Miko Hughes.
What's your name?
Zach.
I'm Al. That's Baz.
Thanks, Baz.
And the iconic Nickel Williamson as Cagliostro.
What are you looking at, old man?
You tell me.
And it turns out the slum that they are in is a place called Rat City.
Where am I?
Rat City, part of the alley.
This is a holy place. All are welcome here.
Then we get this pretty cool scene with this really badass cover by Marilyn Manson that gives you the feel of the slums and really sets the dark tone for the film. After Spawn declines Cagliostro's invite to the slums, we get some more badass voiceover from the guy.
A new hellspawn has emerged from the darkness, reborn on Earth.
So Al, or we'll call him Spawn from here on in, goes back home, but doesn't realize that it's been 5 long years since his tragic fiery explosion death. His wife has gotten remarried to his best friend Terry because, you know, he died. So I guess you can say she doesn't recognize him with his new look very much.
I came out here and this man was lying next to Cyan.
We cut back over to Rat City where we actually get to meet the clown guy.
I don't mind being short, fat, and ugly, but the pay sucks.
Yeah, you remember Shadow Man from earlier? Well, he is actually the Violator, played by Pestario himself, John Leguizamo.
Oops. Oh, what? I hope I didn't stain my underwear.
He is pretty much like Spawn's evil mentor. But the thing is, Spawn is extremely weak and has no idea what the fuck is going on until Clown gives him a slight recap on the current events.
Allow me to kickstart your memory. Hang on. These flashbacks can be killers.
You are the dead man.
We see that Al made a deal with the devil, or Malboja, because in the lore of the comics, he's not actually the devil, but sort of a right hand to the Prince of Darkness.
This is the bargain. If you lead my army, you can see Wanda again.
But even with all the flashbacks, Spawn still isn't convinced. So the clown takes him to the local cemetery to let him see his dead body in the grave for himself.
Oh, come on. Just scream like a girl. Do it like this.
After Spawn comes to the shocking realization that he is in fact actually dead, a couple of Satanists come strolling up and get front row tickets to the Armor Transformation Show. Now with his new suit of armor, the clown then dubs Al as the new Hellspawn.
The people and things of hell I dubbed thee. Spawn! Get full of hell's armies.
Cagliostro then reveals to Spawn that he has more in common with him than he really knows.
An assassin. Like you.
Only I killed for the kingdom of Saxony 500 years ago. I am Cagliostro.
That's all you need to know.
So now he's armed with some fucking badass armor, and he has some really powerful new hell powers. Spawn sets out to exact his hell-bent revenge on that evil fuck, Jason Wynn.
Time to get reacquainted, Jason.
Cut to a ballroom where a bunch of bad guys are hanging out, and we get what I'm assuming is supposed to be an Easter egg that I didn't even notice until watching it for this review. Is this supposed to be a nod to the Angela character from the comics? I mean, she's got the red hair and the Spawn earrings just like the comic.
Whoa, that's cool.
I definitely think it's her. Spawn comes bursting in to confront Jason's evil bitch ass. Jason is freaked the fuck out by the sight of the undead assassin standing before him. Right as Spawn is about to give the evil bastard a piece of his mind, Priest comes in and starts shooting up the place when Spawn gets hit in the crossfire, and this is where he finds out that he has an amazing healing factor.
Damn.
Spawn reconnects with Priest, and she makes fun of his Halloween costume.
It's a little early for Halloween, Simmons.
Where you're going, every day's Halloween.
And then he just murders her evil ass. Badass. SWAT team then comes in, and we get another high-octane shootout, resulting in Spawn getting shot out of a window. And as he's falling, chains come out of his body and attach to the building, saving him from falling to his fucking death. We then get to see what other abilities his newly acquired attire has in store. After all the chaos ensues, the clown and Jason discuss their little deal further.
Now I've done my part. How about yours? How are we doing on your front?
Heat 16 is ready to go.
He tells Jason that he's going to get a detonator implanted into his heart so that no one will dare kill him, because upon doing so, we'll release a deadly virus that will kill millions.
That connects your heartbeat to the Heat 16 bomb, so if your heart starts ticking, the bomb goes off.
Over at some school, we see Spawn's ex-wife, Wanda, giving a speech.
10,000 people died in the first month after the disaster 5 years ago.
Thought I was getting rid of the world's vermin, and I turned out to be one of them.
And then we see Spawn's daughter, Cyan, chase after her dog, where she unknowingly meets her father, Al.
What's your name?
Spawn,
I'm Cyan.
you have your mother's eyes.
Damn. Poor guy. We then get this hilarious scene here.
Spawn is funny, he's our man. If you can't kill him, no one can. Yay, funny. S to the P to the A to the 1. S to the P to the A to the 1. Go funny.
The clown is dragged down into hell, where the mighty Malboja gives his ass one final warning about fucking up his job.
Spawn must choose to murder Wynn and release the virus. Then my army will be complete.
Terry shows up at the school to get his wife and daughter the fuck out of there, in fear of what that evil fuck Jason is up to. The family dog Spaz wants to chill with Spawn though, so I guess Spawn has a dog now?
You don't want to be where I'm going. Okay, but it's your funeral.
Meanwhile, old Jason is getting the detonator inserted into his fucking heart.
If your vital signs flatline for any reason, the device will uplink and detonate the Heat 16 bombs. No one would dare kill you.
But it's all just part of a bigger, more evil picture.
First I got Wynn to kill Spawn and create the Heat 16 bomb. Now I get Spawn to murder Wynn and release the virus.
On the rooftops of Rat City, Spawn is gearing up to go to war when the clown shows up.
Is this hell?
Not yet, but soon.
Spawn knows that Clowny here tried to have him set up, and he's pretty fucking pissed, and is ready to shove his boot up his fucking ass. This is where the clown reveals his true form, known only as the Violator. Then, we get this badass rooftop fight in the rain. I gotta say, this whole alleyway brawl scene is truly bad the fuck ass. Spawn looks pretty badass as well. Fuck yeah. The Violator hurls Spawn into a gate, impaling him in a Christ-like pose, and the fight is over.
Violator 1, Spawny Boy 0.
Cagliostro then shows Spawn how to use his hell powers for good.
You're Spawn now. But that doesn't mean you have to be what they want.
Go!
Sort of a training tutorial, but he quickly tells Spawn that if he fully drains his powers, he will surely die.
Take care of your powers. When you drain them, you die.
We then get an awesome motorcycle chase scene with a bunch of good old over-the-top action. Spawn gets knocked off of his motorcycle, and then as the clown is driving towards him to run him over, Spawn turns his cape into a huge metal spike, and, you know, boom. Cut to the Simmons residence where we see Terry is starting to put shit together about that evil fucker Wynn.
Black bag ops, assassination lists, everything. Wynn's been using E6 to run some sort of criminal consortium. He's got some biological weapon, calls it Heat 16.
Speak of the devil, he shows up to talk in person. This is when Wynn's true plan is announced to the family.
You can't release a virus. Millions of people will die.
Only those who refuse to join me.
Clown then comes over to join the party. Spawn arrives at his old homestead, only to find Wanda at the mercy of that evil fuck Jason. And then this happens.
Too late.
Spawn is about to give Jason what for when he reminds his hellish ass of one important little detail.
See you in hell, Jason!
You kill me! You kill her!
And this is where Spawn does some open heart surgery of his own. Even with the detonator fully removed from Jason's body, Spawn doesn't kill him because he's just, quite frankly, sick of doing hell's work. He goes to hold his wife one last time when she wakes up and is all demoned out. Turns out it wasn't her at all.
So good. And feel that fun. It feels so hairy. Oops!
Cagliostro shows up, and they take the fireplace portal down to hell for the final fight with the demon clown.
All right, you overgrown gecko. Come on, get your throat cut.
After the Violator is defeated for the 20th time tonight, Malboja orders the crowd of Hellspawns to destroy Spawn. But he blasts a bunch of them with this green light. Him and Cagliostro make a narrow escape out of hell. As the movie seems to be nearing its end, the Violator comes back for one final scare. And now, the final battle begins. The Violator is about to eat Spawn when his chains come out, wrap around his neck, and saw his head the fuck off.
You're gonna pay for this.
Spawn literally saves the world, and that's the end of the film. But not before we get this really fucking cool shot of Spawn perched atop of a building. Rain, lightning, and all. Fuck yeah. And that's the end of the film. I really love this movie, and I know most people don't, and whenever it first came out, not very many people liked it at all. I guess it's because of all the schlocky acting and the over-the-top action, just all around pretty terrible CGI. But the thing is, though, the CGI is pretty bad, but comparing it to what CGI can do today, of course it's going to look bad. But with that said, the practical effects on display here are extremely impressive. The shots with the animatronics are fucking amazing looking, and you know, I just love me some practical effects for sure. Also, they had the legendary Greg Nicotero on set, helping out with the creature effects. So, it's definitely a plus in my book. But if you can put yourself past all the schlocky and shitty computer effects, there's a pretty solid film buried beneath. The story, although different, still hits the same beats as you would expect a film about Spawn to hit. It feels very much so like parts of the comic book are literally jumping off of the page. A lot of the dialogue between Spawn and the Violator seems very authentic and true to its source material, and the performance by Jai as Al Simmons is portrayed very well. Don't even get me started on John Leguizamo's performance as the clown. You can just tell he had a good-ass time with the character and just really let himself go in the role. Truly a great performance indeed.
I can't take any more of this sentimental crap, come on!
The background characters that Spawn plays off of are also great. Not to mention this was Nicol Williamson's final role. It's just a really awesome 90s time capsule for sure. It's campy, and it has some wonky shit going on, but all around, a very solid little flick for sure. I definitely recommend you check it out and see what you think for yourself. I may be one of the very few when I say this, but it's definitely a hidden gem in my book. And if you don't like it after you watch it and are just a fan of the character that is Spawn, I will recommend the HBO animated series spanning 18 episodes, starring the iconic Keith David voicing the Hellspawn himself.
Who is?
About to take your head off.
And you want some R-rated Spawn action? Then definitely go check out that show, because even though I do love this movie, I still feel like that animated series was the best cinematic animated interpretation of the character so far, with, you know, this being the close second. I know this isn't a monster movie per se. It's got a demon battling other demons, so that qualifies to me. Scott 86, Spawn, go check it out, folks. It's a true hellish adventure. See you guys on the next episode of Monster Mash.